Hello and welcome back to the channel. Yes, I am driving past Bentley, Lamborghini and Aston Martin. So firstly, thank you to everybody who's messaged, who's hit subscribe, who's hit like. Thank you, it's very much appreciated. This video I'm filming directly after I've driven the brand new Macan GTS, the Gen 3 one. And it's more about what feeling do I get when I jump back from that. So I drove that for actually drove it for about half an hour, because I went out in it twice. And then jumped straight into this. Now, obviously I'm so much lower down, this is so much higher, the car feels so much more direct, it feels more zippy, even though performance-wise it's not as responsive as that, but it feels more responsive. And also, this is the first video with this car after the video with the knocking, ticking, clanging, no oil noise. And I know a few people are going to be traumatized by that. I talked about it on the podcast with Mark and Brock of 996 Road Trip. And since then, obviously, I've parked it on a flat. I've checked the oil. It was just registering on the bottom of the dipstick just about. And it was a single block on the gauge on the dash when you first put the ignition on, where it does that 5-second check. Now since then, I have put in, just giving it the beans. It's just so good. I'm not going to break it. It just keeps going. Anyway, since then, I have put in 1.5 litres of oil, and it's still not enough, because I put it in, I leave it, and I come back to it, and then obviously I'm back on the driveway, it's on an incline, I can't get a true measurement, so I don't want to overfill it, but I reckon it needs another half litre. So I reckon 2 litres will do it, which is, I know it's terrible, I haven't checked it for that long, and I haven't changed it for that long, so, and already it feels better since I've put more oil in. But when I started it up this morning to go to Porsche GB to test drive that Macan, it still made that noise, even though this time I parked it on a flat. So, and I was late, so I couldn't go jump in, go and check the oil and then top it up and then drive off. So I checked it after I'd done that drive of the Macan. So it'd been there for about an hour and a half, maybe close to 2 hours, and it's still sort of 3/4 of the way up the dipstick, and it's still 2 blocks off the top on the dash gauge. So I reckon another half litre, which I'll slowly do. But it's just, I mean, it just feels so nice, and it seriously, I think I feel bad. I'm a terrible person, and you can judge me for it, and you'd be right, but it drives so much better already. And like Brock said, why do you need an oil change? You just put a whole lot of fresh oil in it. This person in front of the BMW probably thinks I'm trying to race them, which I'm not. So now going back to the Macan thing, Macan to this, and my conclusions on, I don't feel like they do a disservice to the Macan GTS, because it wasn't that I drove the bottom of the range one, it wasn't or anything like that. I drove it because I wanted to do the sporty one, and luckily Tina sorted that out. She got me a GTS, and that's, you know, it's up there with the Macan Turbo because it's the same power output, and it's just, I was surprised at how much it leaned over. I just assumed when I got in that it wouldn't lean in bends and around the roundabouts on a normal everyday setup, not making everything super stiff for sport or anything like that. And I mean, it's crazy fast. It's crazy fast in a way that it sort of creeps up on you. Now if I put my foot down, I put this down to 3rd, and I feel it, I can feel it go, I know I'm close to the ground, I'm going around a bend, I can see the road is shifting, there's a sign saying road ahead closed, I think it might be for a side road, but, and even now I'm in 4th gear doing 50, do both because both things are just so opposite. It can't give you the low driving position. It can't give you the feeling close to the road. It can't give you that feeling of, you know, get the heart rate going and yet still be super safe, super sanitized for when you're not doing it. I don't think it can do both and still be sat high up with a feeling of being sat low. It can't do all of those things. So a great car, but when I get back into this, straight after that, it kind of confirms everything that I felt when I was driving it then. So I went from driving this, you know, 10 minutes to the dealership, and then drive that for half an hour, and then jump into this. I know it was only half an hour, and people will say, well, you haven't driven it for long enough, but I get the idea, because when you get into a sports car for the first time, you do drive it in a way that says, well, how do I experience that sports car? And that's what I tried to do. And it's easy to drive it like this, and sometimes you forget that it's all a super sporty thing, but the acceleration was great if you were looking at the speedo, and obviously it's comfortable. Speaking of comfort, a lot of bumps here. I'm gonna go this way, try and not run over a load of children. And I'm super pleased. I'm super pleased that I managed to drive that, and it's kind of, I need to reverse back out of the way of some of these people, and it's kind of sort of, it's confirmed my belief in my perception of a sports SUV, and can you have a sports SUV instead of a sports car? Can you have a Macan GTS instead of a 911 of any description? And in my mind you can't. And again, it's subjective, it's just an opinion. So that's where we are. Brilliant. In other news, I put my phone holder in, the 911, the Renline OEM style phone holder. It takes literally 3 minutes to fit it. All you need is a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, and that's it. It costs quite a lot of money for a phone holder. It's like £43 or £45, something like that. And it's, you know, it's a tiny thing, which is the good thing about it. And you fit it, and the phone is in a really good spot. You can see I got sick of losing my phone under the seat while I was using it for sat nav, so I'd just prop it up, and as soon as I went around a bend I'd forget and it would slide under the seat, and that's it, it's gone. And then you have to pull over, fish it out. So, and also things like, you know, if I was trying to answer a call or something like that and I had my headset in. Anyway, this is brilliant. I love it. It means that the plate that's in the back of my phone cover I can now use on both cars. The Audi has a phone holder that's magnetic as well, and it works really well. I'm super pleased with it. And that's it for this video. I'm not going to ramble on anymore. The next video will be hopefully about me trying to get the Boxster fixed. It might just be my drive over to Jack's after having cleaned it, just taking it to get fixed with all the parts. So the parts I've got is 2 front shocks, 4 CV gaiters boots. Now from when Jack looked, I think it only needed 1, so I don't know whether I'll say just do all of them or not. It depends. And the rear brake discs, pads, and I have got the indicator stalk thing as well. So I bought that off eBay for about £55, which is, I think, a pretty good deal. So I'll take all of those. Hopefully he can do it in a day for the, well, he can't do it for the money. So I've got a credit note off him for £300 for the Golf. I don't think he'll be able to do it for that. So I'm completely and utterly broke. I've maxed out my overdraft, my credit card, and that's it. I've got half a tank of petrol left in this car. I'm not going to be able to fill that back up, especially with the cost of fuel at the moment. So the next video should be me in the Boxster, if I can get it going. And then after that, it might just be of me in a 2009 Audi A3. Anyway, thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you for subscribing, hitting like, commenting, and why, but now I just need to get organised and start earning some money. Anyway, thank you, and I'll catch you on the next video.